Hello everyone, welcome to my channel and welcome to my very first video. I am going to be embarking on a virtual flight around the world, starting in my hometown of Cape Town, South Africa. We will be visiting some famous places as well as some infamous airports, all while enjoying the magic of flight and the sceneries offered. While I am a real-world private pilot, I will not be using any standard procedures. These videos are not to be used for training and are strictly for entertainment purposes. I'll be uploading a new flight every week if I can, so feel free to leave a like and subscribe to my channel to be notified. With that housekeeping out of the way, let's get this grand adventure started. Greetings, cadets. This is Commander Andrews. Welcome to Cape Town International Airport, and welcome to my first flight of my trip around the world. We'll be doing this trip in little legs. This is the first flight of leg 1, and the purpose of leg 1 is to get from Cape Town, South Africa to the United States. We're going to be flying the 737-600. It's the smallest of the next-gen 737s, and I'm actually really liking this aircraft. Besides the fact that it's half price from PMDG compared to the 700, the 800 and the 900. But let's get going. We'll be flying to Windhoek, Namibia, or as some call it, Namibia. And the international airport, largest in the country, will be Hosea Kitako International. That is the fastest forklift I've ever seen. Anywho's, jumping into the cockpit now. Right, let's get started. We're going to jump onto the overhead panel. Righty then, and we're going to turn the batteries on. Right. Batteries on, emergency lights on. Okay, first thing we're going to do is go up to the upper overhead panel, turn on the IRS systems. What this does is basically tell the aircraft where it is in the world. Back to the front, and we're going to go down to the FMC. FS actions, what we're going to do. We are running on battery power at the moment, so we're going to ask the nice folk outside to connect the aircraft to ground power. So they're going to bring their little generator and plug it into the aircraft. It's a good thing they're not bringing out an extension cord and plugging it into the main terminal, because the local power grid is not very stable. Right, so if we have a look outside the aircraft, there we have the generator, and that's been plugged into the plane. Have a step back inside. Going up to the overhead panel, we can see over here ground power is available, so we're going to say yes please, turn that on, and the aircraft's power selector is already on ground power. Okay, we're now getting our power from the generator outside. Once we have done that, dome light we're not going to worry about, and now we can go ahead and start planning our flight. I'm going to be using a program called Little Nav Map. It's a free program you can download, which is very handy. So if we have a look over here, we can zoom in, that's Cape Town International, and we'll just right click on it and say yes, set airport Cape Town International as our departure, and we can zoom all the way out. And this is our destination. Over here, KO code FYWH. Click on that, and we can set Hosea Kitako as our destination. Right, there we go. I'm happy with that. That'll give us nice progress, and what's nice about this is Little Nav Map. It works with Microsoft Flight Simulator, and it shows us a live position of our aircraft, we're sitting at gate A4 at Cape Town International. Right, back to the simulator, back to the cockpit. Let's turn that off. Okay, we're going to go back to the FMC, and we need to start programming the flight. One thing I've missed, we need to turn the probe heats on. Let's turn all those on. Those are the little whiskers on the nose that read the airspeed, the outside pressure, so on and so forth. We don't want those freezing up, so those keep those heated. Okay, back to our main menu. We need to enter the IRS position. That's what the FMC is asking for. Going to the FMC, we're going to go to POS init. This is the section here. When you see square blocks like this, it means it's a mandatory entry that you need to give to the FMC. Right, so we're just going to go to the next page, and here is the last known coordinates of the aircraft. We're just going to select one of that. Doing that moves this line down here to this bottom part here, which I call the clipboard. Some people call it the scratch pad. It's basically a copy and paste. So I'm going to go back to the previous page and just click on the hotkey to the right of this, and it'll put it in there. Right, our reference airport is Cape Town International, ICAO code FACT. We'll just put that in there and then click up there. We are at gate A4, but if I remember correctly, it doesn't accept it. Oh, it did. Okay, well, there we go. Going to route. Origin, again, in fact, I've put it in here already, so we'll just have to key it into there. Company route, we're not going to worry about. Runway. Now, we need to figure out what runway we are going to take off from. So, Cape Town's got runway 19 and 01. Now, I suspect it's going to be runway 19 because I had a quick look at the weather forecast. But we need to be sure, so we're going to just get the ATC out. We're going to go to Cape Town ATIS. What that's going to do is let us know what which runway is the current active runway.
Cape Town Airport information, Oscar 1000 Zulu. Wind 166 at 21. Visibility 6. Sky condition.
166 tells me it'll be runway 19. Runway 19 in use.
18.
That's all we needed to see.
10. Altimeter tree 0, decimal tree.
I'm just going to go back to clearance, ground. Okay, runway 19, so we'll just key that in here. Our destination is Hosea Kotaku, and their ICAO code FYWH. Oopsie daisy, we're going to need to go clear on that one. FYWH. There we go. From there we're going to go to legs, and I'm just going to go again FYWH, and I'm going to activate that, execute. Right, so I've told the aircraft basically fly direct to Hosea International. Once we begin our descent, we'll fine-tune that approach depending on what runway they give us. We're going to expect runway 24, judging by the weather forecast. So yes, but we'll fine-tune that on our descent to choose waypoints to bring us, using the little nav map, to line us up with the runway. Okie dokie. Now, going back to the FMC. Right. We're happy with that. We don't need to request the winds. Right. For the takeoff calculations, 0 fuel weight is the weight of the aircraft with no fuel. Of course, the aircraft knows how much it weighs with no fuel and nobody on it. So we just have to click on there and it'll bring up that figure down here. With it in the scratch pad, we'll just click on it again. That's been filled in. Our planned altitude, we're going to fly at 32,000. we'll just say flight level 320. Okay, reserves will be, we're just going to say 5% for reserves. Cost index, we're just going to go 50, which basically is how fuel efficient you're asking the aircraft to be. And we're going to execute that. N1 limit, we're not going to worry about any of these. Take off. 5 degrees flaps we'll put up here. And what that tells us is our rotation speeds. We'll just key these in there like that. Our rotate speed will be 129 knots. From that calculations, we've also got the CG of the aircraft will be 23.7. Click back on there, and that'll tell us the trim we need to use. Now what that means is we need to go down here and adjust the trim to about 5.5. What that does is it's slight adjustments to the horizontal stabilizer at the back of the aircraft, just to keep it in a neutral, balanced position when we reach takeoff speeds. We don't want the aircraft otherwise accidentally floating off the runway, or having to pull back harder than you should to get the nose up. Right, that looks about right. 5.5, maybe just a little bit back. There we go. Okay, at that point we're basically done with the calculations, and yeah, I then like to put it on progress, and this is how I keep progress of my flight. With that done, let's go back to my checklist here. All discontinuities, let's just check that. There aren't any discontinuities, we're all good. And yeah, back to the front panel. We need to now skedaddle across to the autopilot section here. Turn our flight directors on. Now flight directors and autopilot are two different things. The autopilot tells the aircraft what to do. The flight directors tell the aircraft how to do it. And I'll explain that later. Right, we're just going to press B to set the correct barometer setting. There we go, that's what we want to see. And I'm going to go to hectopascals and not inches, because we're not in America. And yeah, what we're going to do also, we need to set the indicated airspeed. So this is our auto throttle. We're going to set it for 250. Once we get above 10,000 feet, we can crank that up to 330. Our altitude, we're going to crank that to 32,000 feet. Right, that's set. What else have we got here? Of course, we're going to leave for now. We'll fiddle with that when we approach our destination. We'll turn auto throttle on for the time being. Okay, we're just about ready to go. Going back up to the overhead, I'm going to go ahead and tell everyone to turn on their seatbelts. I'm going to turn on the yaw damper. The yaw damper is when the aircraft rolls, certain ailerons, be it on the left side or the right side, they generate more drag than they should, causing the aircraft to yaw incorrectly, and that compensates for that. And cabin pressure, we need to set the cabin pressure to 32,000, otherwise we're all going to asphyxiate ourselves. Landing altitude. Our destination airport, Hosea Kataku International, is 5,500 feet. It's one of the highest airports in the world. 6, I believe it is. That'll be our landing altitude. Okay, we are ready to start the APU. So basically, as we get the aircraft ready to push back, we'll need to disconnect the generator outside. So we're going to fire up the aircraft APU. The APU is a third jet engine that's situated in the tail of the aircraft. We need to turn on one of the fuel pumps so we can get fuel to it. The APU switch will press to on. Now we'll wait for the EGT of the APU to start. Now if we have a look at the back of the aircraft, it's situated in the tail there. You can hear it turning on, and there's the exhaust over there. That's going to provide power to the aircraft, as well as compressed air to spin up the main engines. There you can see the exhaust jumping back into the cockpit. We're just going to wait for that to settle, and we're going to look for this little light here to turn on. Once that little light turns on, we can switch the aircraft over to APU power. She's come on. Thank you. Right, we are now on APU power. Ground power, we can go off. Thank you very much. And up here, we'll tell the aircraft, you are now on APU. Right. Anti-collision lights, we can turn on now. This lets the people on the ground know that we're firing things up, and we will be moving shortly. Okie dokie. We're going to go back to the FMC now. Going to menu, and we're going to go back to FS Actions, to the ground services, and we're going to tell them, please release the ground power. At the same time, while we're in here, we're going to ask him to remove the chocks. Now, what that does is also automatically closes the doors and removes the stairs. And Bob's your mother's brother. Okie dokie, we're also going to just go back to, has been done, that's been returned. I want to go back to progress there. Alright. From that point, back up to the overhead, we're going to turn all the fuel pumps on, and we're going to turn the APU bleed on. The air packs, if they were on at this point, we would have had to turn them off. That's the air conditioning for the plane. If anyone has flown in real life, you'll realize that, you'll remember, or you may have noticed, that when we do the pushback and the engines are starting, they turn off the air cons. Okay, we are now ready to contact ATC, and we can be on our way. We'll be flying this flight VFR. Most of the flights we'll be doing VFR. I might get adventurous one day and fly IFR, but this flight is these flights are going to be very casual. I'm going to ask for departure north, please.
Commercial 1 taxi to gate Alpha 8.
But now they decide to start chatting.
Cape Town Ground Commander 7 Treat 6 request taxi for departure to the north with Papa.
Commander 736 taxi to and hold short of runway 19er using taxiway Alpha Bravo Charlie cross runway 01 Mike Delta cross runway tree for Delta Golf. Contact tower on 118.1 when ready.
Thanks, Bob.
Taxiing hold short runway 19er using taxiway Alpha Bravo Charlie cross runway 01 Mike Delta cross runway tree for Delta Golf Commander 736.
Okay, we would like to request pushback. Straight out. Turn nose to the right. Standard left. We'll take that. Let's hope this works. I've had so much problems with pushback. Anywho's, select a tug. I don't know why they let us select a tug. We don't care what type of tug pushes us back.
Cockpit to ground. Go ahead. We've been cleared for pushback and start. They want the tail to our left.
Roger that. Ready to push. Tail to the left. Park brakes off.
Parking brakes are off.
Cape Town ground, Kenya 8, ready to copy IFR clearance to Victoria Falls.
Let's go.
Kenya 8 is cleared to Victoria Falls Airport as filed. Takeoff runway 19er
Let's
climb
check that.
to maintain 5,000 feet. Departure frequency is 119.7 squawk 2576.
Okay, we are being pushed back, so that is our cue to start the engines. Right, we're going to go use the engine start left for both engines today, and we're going to start the right
Kenya
engine.
8 cleared to Victoria Falls.
What we're doing now
Airport
is
filed.
we're going to look down here.
Takeoff runway
The
19er
engine is
climb to
spooling up,
maintain 5,000
and watch, once that number
Departure
reaches
on
25,
124.7
we're just going to
squawk
throw the
2576.
fuel switch to introduce fuel into the engine.
Is correct. Contact ground on 121.9er when ready to taxi. Good day.
Done. I don't like to waste time. That engine is firing up, and let's start the left engine.
Cape Town ground, Kenya 8 requesting pushback.
Now, let's hope this guy
Town ground,
pushes
Kenya
us
8,
back
no
properly
pushback
this
pod
time.
is available to answer your request.
That doesn't look like he's pushing us back properly. Oh well. We'll just do the turn ourselves. So frustrating. Okay,
Cape Town ground, Kenya 8 with
He has
authorized
disappeared.
taxi IFR.
we're going to be taxiing that way, so we've got plenty of room to make this turn.
Kenya 8 taxi to and hold
Oh,
short of runway
I have
19er
forgotten about this
using
other
taxiway
engine that's
Alpha
trying to
Bravo
spool up.
Charlie cross runway 01 Mike Delta cross runway tree for Delta Golf. Contact tower on 118
There we go.
when ready.
Now we're just waiting for this guy to snap back to the off, which tells us the left engine has stabilized. There we go. Right, we are now going to switch the aircraft onto engine power. 1, whoopsie daisy, 2. And from that point, we can go ahead and turn the APU off. Right. Air cons can go on. Taxi light can go on. That should have gone on while we were pushing back. We'll turn on the landing lights when we're on the runway. Might as well turn the logo on and the wing on. And of course now we can turn the hydraulic pumps on. Alright, we are ready for taxiing. What we're going to do while we're taxiing is lower our flaps to 5 degrees, take off flaps. We are now taxiing under our own power, and the aircraft is being powered by the main engines. The APU has been put to sleep for the time being. Okie dokie, Coke and Smoky. While we're taxiing to our runway, one or two facts about Windhoek. Windhoek means windy corner in Afrikaans and German, reflecting the city's location at the edge of the Namib Desert. And when I say desert, you would think, oh, there's not much scenery. Well, no, there is. We are at flaps 5 degrees. Everything is under control. We like to think it is under control. We're at idle at the moment. 737-600, even at idle, does have some positive thrust. So in the real world, that's what pilots need to look out for. Crossing runway 16, I've never seen anyone using this runway. I am using the 737 with the eyebrow windows. I do like them. I think they're a nice touch. But I believe in real life they're not very practical. And I've heard how pilots tend to stuff navigation charts. Yes, the twin jet on final. That's okay. Right. We're at the point. We'll tune tower now.
Cape Town Tower Commander 736 at runway 19 ready for departure to the north.
Departure.
Commander 736, hold short runway 19. Traffic is twin jet on final.
It's a twin jet.
Hold short runway 19 Commander 736.
Does it look to you like this guy's doing a go around? Let's get rid of that. No, he's just been he's not doing a landing challenge, but it is a very long runway. Okay. No wagons. For those international viewers, that means now we wait in Afrikaans.
Cape Town Tower generic Zulu uniform Echo Bravo Bravo is 1 mile northeast 400 feet with Papa to land.
While we're waiting, we're going to tune
Generic Zulu uniform Echo Bravo Bravo Cape Town Tower.
heading
Altimeter tree 0, decimal tree 0, wind 166 at 22. Fly left downwind runway 19.
to our approximate, which the heading bug to the, what's the word I'm looking for? The direction we need to go.
Runway 19, generic Echo Bravo Bravo.
Now we wait.
Rouge 449er, 7 exit runway when able.
Is there another aircraft on final? Okay. I'm probably gonna skip.
Rouge 449er 7, contact ground on 121.9er. Commander 736, altimeter tree 0, decimal tree 0, wind 166 at 22. Departure to the north approved. Cleared
Thank
for
you, Bob.
takeoff runway 19er. Going to 121.9er Rouge 449er 7.
Did I acknowledge? Come on.
Cleared for takeoff runway 19er Commander 736.
Right. We can go landing lights on. And let's go. 130 rotation I'm looking at.
OT.
Oh,
Positive rate of climb.
there's a crosswind. Gear up.
Commander 736, continue for north departure.
There we go. We're going to do a left turn here.
Commander 736, leaving my airspace frequency change approved.
Thanks, Bob.
Cape Town Tower Commander 736 frequency change.
Okay, let's throttle back a bit. This plane has got a lot of oomph. Okay, we're going to turn the autopilot on and we're going to ask the aircraft to take us to heading, and we will soon be going off heading onto LNAV. We're not going to be using VNAV for this flight because I don't want to, and it's quite complicated. Altitude. Vertical speed. This aircraft does take a few seconds to... There we go. We're going to take vertical speed up to 1,800. 1,800 feet per minute is what we're telling the aircraft to do. On our way to 32,000. Auto throttle is on, speed is on, so she is going to be keeping to 250. We can now bring the flaps up. I should have done that already. Now, I can see down here that our aircraft is smack on the magenta line that we wanted, so I'm going to change to LNAV. And we've gone into some cloud. After takeoff, I am going to go down to the radio stack and turn on the TCAS. TCAS basically screams at us if we're about to smack into another aircraft in midair.
Clear to land runway 19er, generic Mike Kilo November.
Okay, now if we look out the window, there's Robben Island over there. We can see Flamingo Fly over there. And just down there somewhere is my home base airfield of Morningstar. Hello, boys.
Follow the aircraft on final. Wind 166.
We can now
Clear to land runway.
tune elsewhere. There we go. We don't need to contact them. I don't want to contact them. Right. Everything is under control. We assume. Let's have a look outside. There's Morningstar right there. Let's have a look out the window. Let's reset our seat. Yes! There she is. There she is. For those viewers from Japan or Taiwan or the Netherlands, Morningstar is a very small little airfield. Approaching 10,000. Once we pass 10,000, we can turn the landing lights off, and we can turn the seatbelt sign off, and we can tell the engines to crank it up. we at? Yes, we are. Landing lights off, and seatbelts can go off, and we can go up to 330. We do have a nice tailwind also, so we should get there quick spot. Okay. There was, of course, a well-wishing party as we left, being the departure of our round the world tour. From here, we're going up to Windhoek. From Windhoek, we're gonna hop along the Atlantic. We're going to visit Saint Helena, and we're going to visit Cuba. And of course, we're going to stop at that famous airport where landing aircraft almost decapitate tourists on the beach. And landing in Orlando will be our end of leg one, where there will be humongous celebrations. Right? I'm gonna skip ahead because now we're gonna go into the cruise, and I'll see you guys for our descent. Okay, we are now ready to descend. So, seeing as the airfield is, or I like to call them airfields, technically the airport, the international airport, is 5,500 feet. I am now therefore going to descend to 8,000. Because I like to begin my approach from 2,500. Whoops, I've gone a wee bit too far. Now we can begin the vertical speed so long, and down we go. We'll also be descending at 1.8, and I'm going to dial back on the speed. Oh, not that much. 280. Right, now I just have to fine tune my altitude. 8,000. Right. it's still going to be a while before we contact the airport. But what we're going to do so long is program the FMC. Right now, we've got, if we have a look at here, how this works. We've got our, this knob over here, changes the magnification of this display here. So that's 80 miles out, 160 miles. Right, there you can see that's where we are, and that is our destination. So that green banana, that shows us our descent rate, and that's the position where we'll reach that altitude. So as you can see, that's not going to do, because we don't want to reach 8,000 after our destination. So we are just going to speed up that vertical speed. Let's go 2,000, 2,100. Now you'll see that green banana start to creep closer. And it'll also help if we slow the aircraft down further. Okay. Right. Now we need to go back to little nav map. And we don't want to come straight into the airport, we want to line up. Now, as I said earlier on, we are expecting runway 26. So, what this green feather here is the ILS feather. That's what I would use if we're at night or poor visibility. We're probably not going to use it today, but I will program it in to our ILS. So I want to look for one of these waypoints over here, one that's in line with the runway. I think let's have a look at Fritz, F-R-I-T-Z. So I'm going to go down to the FMC, and I'm going to go to legs, and I'm going to put in Fritz, F-R-I-T-Z, and I would like to go Fritz before that point there, so I'm going to put it in here. See, now what it's done is it's given me two options, because there are apparently two Fritz waypoints somewhere on the planet. I see one of those waypoints as a northern hemisphere location. So obviously it's not that one, it must be this one. We'll click on that. Now what's happened here is there's a discontinuity here. We want to get rid of that. So we're going to click on FYWH. It'll go into the scratch pad, and we'll fill up that discrepancy there. We're happy with that, and then we'll execute. Right, our flight plan would have changed. We might notice the aircraft turn in right slightly to turn onto the new route. Now if we zoom in here, we'll notice the route now takes us to that waypoint and then into the runway. Our green banana is pretty much exactly where we want it to be, but we want to slow down a bit more. One has to remember that we're in a large aircraft. Small for a 737, but big for a Cessna. So I want to slow us down because I'm not comfortable with my green banana being right on top of our destination. So we're going to activate the spoilers, which will slow us down a bit. They are the speed brakes of the aircraft, basically. You'll see there they are over there. The spoilers are up, and they'll be slowing the aircraft down. Because she is big and she's got a lot of kinetic energy. Don't let her hear me say that. Right. Also, of course, it will help to slow down the speed over here. Slow us down to 220. Right, let's look at the green banana now. It's beginning to look a little more manageable. Okay, let's see if we can contact the airport and get our clearance. To land, that would be. Nearest airport list. Okay, I don't see her there. I hate this part, looking through all of these millions of airports. FYWC, that's not it. That's the smaller airfield in the middle of town. There she is.
Windhoek Tower Commander 736 is 39 miles south, flight level 190 with Alpha to land.
Commander 736, Windhoek Tower. Altimeter 30.21, Windcom, enter right traffic runway 26.
Runway 26, it is what we expected. What I didn't expect was wind calm. That tells us that runway 26 is the preferred runway.
Enter right downwind runway 26 Commander 736.
Right, we can shut that down. We must not forget our spoilers are still out. Passing through 17 only now. See now, what we can do is zoom in again on this. Or zoom out. No, zoom in, yes. Right, and there you can see our curve, and then that should line us up with the runway. And the green banana is right where I want it to be. So I'm going to go ahead and pull in the spoilers. And at that point I'm also going to arm them. What that has done is the moment our wheels touch the ground, spoilers pop up, we've all seen it, and that ruins the lift of the wings, which prevents us from ballooning. Right, what we also need to do now is having a look at little nav map. There you can see us going off course from the flight plan, so we can intercept the Fritz waypoint. If we have a look at the ILS feather, every ILS feather has got a frequency here. This one is 110.3. What we're going to do with that is go to the nav radios and tune in 110.3. Was it 30? Was it 30? Was it 30? I'll have to check again. Yes, 0.30. Run 3.0. And now we're programmed into the ILS. I'm also going to do it to the other side. Oh, the co-pilot's chair. Right, so we've got the ILS programmed. The frequency programmed in there. What we're also going to do, runway 26 as heading nose 255. So we're going to program the course 255. Out of habit, we also do it to the co-pilot's side. Redundancies of redundancies. There's duplicates of every instrument. We can relax a bit on this vertical speed, go back to 1.8, something a bit more normal. We have not seen a single cloud on this flight. It is a perfect day. I am flying, by the way, on live weather. So that's one of the things I told myself. I'm not controlling the weather at all. I will take it as it comes. Okay, we are nearing 8,000. We'll leave the speed at 220. I believe we should start seeing... Not yet. She's out there. So we got the auto speed set to 220, but we're still at 280. And we're below 10,000, so we need to turn the spoilers back on, because we are not supposed to be going this fast. Landing lights on. I'm not going to worry about the auto brake for now. Okay, we've reached 8,000, and what is happening now is we are finally starting to slow down nicely. So I'm going to go with speed brakes off. What that's done is I also need to reset the auto spoilers. Okay, let's slow down to 180. Things are looking good. We're also gonna set approach. Slow us down to 180. Might have gone to approach a bit too soon. That's what I want to see. Now we should be beginning our turn very soon. It's going to be a mighty turn, I'll say that. I'm happy with that altitude. Let's go down to 7.5. 500 feet per minute for the time being. Okay, I'm going to add some flap. 1 degree flap. There we start our turn. So this is not me turning the aircraft, this is the autopilot. Right, now we can go on to approach mode. What we want to see is this line over here on the display to center. There it is, beginning to center. That's the localizer. That's what we want to see. More flap. Slow us down to 150. So that should be lining us up with the runway. More flap. Flaps 5 degrees. We can go 10 and we can lower the landing gear. Okay, we have airfield in sight. I am happy to disengage the autopilot now. And the auto throttle. Right, this is our bird from here on in. And we'll go full flap from here. Any minute now.
736, wind calm, clear to land runway 26.
There it is, any minute now. Clear to land. Thanks, bub.
Clear to land runway 26 Commander 736.
Right, we are high. I'm still looking at the localizer, you see. Everything in the green. T's and P's, as they say. We are high, according to the glide slope. Trying to correct. We are at full flap. Spoilers armed. Check.
1,000.
And approaching Windhoek, Namibia. I've got a friend bombing around here in Cessna Caravan. He's the one that taught me to fly, actually. Okay, I'm happy with this approach. Still a bit high. I see the pappies.
500.
All white, but
400.
better than 4 red pappies.
300.
Okay, there we go. Now we're at the right glide slope.
200.
slope.
I must say, it's quite a nice long runway old Windhoek has, yeah?
50. 30.
Let's begin that flare. Throttle back. I'm hoping spoilers deployed. And begin our reverse thrust until we've reached 70. Reached, can go into brakes from there. Will we reach this taxiway? Ooh.
Commander 736, turn next taxiway.
Not even going to compliment me on the landing.
Commander 736, contact ground on 118.1.
To be honest, I don't think that was a taxiway. I think I taxied onto another runway. We'll just take this one. And of course, contact ground, as they say.
Going to 118.1 Commander 736.
Alright. Taxi for takeoff options and ground service. So, they're not going to bother to tell me where to park. We'll just pick one ourselves. Okay, while we're taxiing, we're just going to pop upstairs and we're going to turn on the APU. In addition, we are now going to, while we're taxiing, raise the flaps all the way. We can turn TCAS off. And we can turn the landing lights off. Chup, chup, chup. Whoa. And we're going to pick a spot. One thing you have to watch out for in this aircraft, even at idle, she has some positive thrust. So you think you're sitting still and she's going to start to crawl forward. Right, let's have a look at little nav map. There was our flight path. Straightforward, no drama there. Yeah, I think we'll that's fuel, so we'll park in number 3, I think. So that's 1, 2 and the third one. That guy was taking a chance. Someone to meet us. Are we going to be a stickler about this? I think we are. Ooh, these brakes are way too sharp. Okay, I'm happy with that. Back in the cockpit, let's have a look down, and parking brake is on. What we'll do now, APU is up and running, and we'll go to APU. Tell the aircraft, APU. Alrighty then, so to shut down, going back downstairs and turn the fuel valves off. And there's me, and there's you. Back inside. Tally ho, I say. So, now that we've done that, we can turn these guys off. Whoopsie daisy. Right, your damper off. Oh, we'll leave one of those on for the APU that's still running. We're not going to bother with ground power because we're basically shutting everything off. Taxi lights can go off. Okay. So from there we are going to then turn the APU off and oops, Thank you guys, and I'll see you on the next one. Welcome to Windhoek, Namibia. Until next time.